Have you ever considered the possibility of working on wealth creation? I'm talking actually taking the time, spending the energy, and doing the thing. Not just babbling amongst your friends about the rich and how beneficial it is to be rich and all those nonsense things that we think of. But for you to make a change and a difference in your own life. If you are in that category, if you are one of the people that need advice and that are serious about your own future, I would advise that you follow through with this journey. And let's take one another's hand, and I'll give you what I've got, and just maybe it'll help you. Thank you, my friend. The poet, in a moment of inspiration, gave us a poem that seemed very simple at the time. It goes like this. It says, I have bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I cried in the evenings as I counted my scanty store, for life is a just employer. He pays you what you ask. But once you've set the wages, now you must bear the task. I worked for a menial hire, just to learn dismayed, that whatever I would have asked of life, life would have happily paid. During the session, I want you to remember this little story. I'm going to deal ultimately with another Garcia story. There are two Garcia stories. But I want to tell you the one first. It has a bearing on wealth creation. It has a bearing on the way that you see things, your belief system. History takes us back to the year 1898. America and Spain are at odds with one another. War is imminent. The American president, President McKinley, realizes that if he can deal with General Garcia, the leader of the insurgents in Cuba, if he can broker a deal with Garcia, he can stand off on Spain, and it will be to the advantage of both countries. Here's the problem. Or as we say today, I hear the word used, it's not a problem, they say it's a challenge. Political correctness doesn't actually work with wealth creation. Here's the problem for President McKinley. They don't know where Garcia is. What they do know is he's somewhere in the mountains in hiding in Cuba. But Cuba is a large island. And he says to his generals, who shall we send? Who shall we send? It reminds me of Isaiah when the angel says, who shall we send? Isaiah says, send me. The president says, who shall we send? And the generals say, there's only one man in the American forces that we can guarantee will do it. And it is Lieutenant Rowan. And they get him to the president's office. Now the history book says that he entered the office, he came to attention, he saluted smartly. Morning, President. The president had already had a letter written to Garcia. He handed the letter to Lieutenant Rowan. He says the following words, deliver this letter to Garcia. That's all. No explanations needed. No fancy-pantsy tiptoeing around the issue. Detail that doesn't concern us now. We don't have to go into all the detail. But according to the history book then, 3 weeks after he gotten onto Cuba, onto the island, he walked out on the other side. Lieutenant Rowan had delivered his letter to Garcia. No questions asked. No one blamed. If you track it back to the moment the president handed him that letter, he did not ask him, why can't John do this? Can I take a platoon with me? Where on earth is Garcia? Why is it my problem? Can I sleep over it and report back to you tomorrow? Do I have time to refuse or not? He did not do this thing. Garcia is your wealth. It's the ultimate that you want to reach. It is that person that you can visualize, that image of wealth. You need to deliver your letter to your Garcia. I cannot do that for you. I have no idea what your circumstances are. You, and only you, are responsible for your own destiny.